For nearly a decade, professional wildlife, sports, and action photographers have asked the exact same question. Will Nikon ever build a true mirrorless successor to the legendary D500? For years, the answer was absolute silence. Nikon focused heavily on dominant full-frame bodies like the Z8 and the flagship Z9. They left a massive community of crop sensor shooters completely in the dark. But the camera industry is shifting rapidly right now. Internal roadmaps reveal that Nikon is quietly preparing to drop a nuclear option into the market. Welcome back to Tap Tech. Today we are decoding the explosive, verified leaks surrounding what is easily the most anticipated APS-C camera of the decade. This is the upcoming Nikon Z90. This is not just an incremental upgrade. This is not a mid-range body designed for casual hobbyists. The industry leaks point to a highly specialized speed demon. Creators are already calling this camera the Mini Z9. If you have been on the fence about upgrading your older DSLR, you need to listen closely. If you have been eyeing rival high-end crop sensor systems, you will want to listen to every single word of this breakdown. We have analyzed the engineering data. We have tracked the supply chain whispers. We have uncovered a shocking new integration of cinema technology. This single feature could completely alter how we shoot high-speed action and high-end video forever. The true gravity of this camera comes down to a simple truth. Full frame is not always king. Nikon intends to capture a market segment that has been left starving for professional DX performance for years. To understand why the Nikon Z90 is causing such an uproar in the community, you have to look directly at the sensor architecture. For a very long time, high-end crop sensor cameras had a major flaw. That flaw was sensor readout speed. If you shot fast-moving birds, racing cars, or athletes with an electronic shutter, you suffered. You dealt with the dreaded rolling shutter effect. This is the annoying issue where straight lines bend unnaturally. It is where fast motion looks warped and ruined. The leaks indicate that Nikon is solving this problem once and for all. They are introducing a brand new 33-megapixel stacked CMOS sensor. A stacked sensor is a marvel of modern engineering. It integrates memory directly onto the silicon chip itself. This allows data to clear at lightning speeds. Standard backside illuminated sensors simply cannot match this performance. This resolution is the absolute sweet spot for a crop sensor. At 33 megapixels, you get an incredible amount of fine detail. This allows wildlife photographers to crop in heavily on a distant subject. You can zoom in without losing the fine texturing in feathers or fur. Because it utilizes a stacked design, rolling shutter is effectively eliminated from this camera. This allows you to shoot silently with an electronic shutter. You can shoot under harsh artificial light or during erratic action sequences with total visual fidelity. But a high-speed sensor is completely useless if the mechanical and electronic systems cannot keep up with it. This is exactly where the Z90 earns its Mini Z9 title. Internal reports state the camera will comfortably hit 15 frames per second using its refined mechanical shutter. That alone is fast enough for most shooters. But when you switch over to the electronic shutter, the stacked sensor unleashes its full processing potential. This pushes continuous burst rates up to a blistering 30 to 120 frames per second in specialized crop modes. Think about that for a second. For sports and aviation photographers, this means you can capture the exact millisecond a ball makes contact with a bat. You can catch the precise moment a lightning bolt strikes a tower with absolute precision. Nikon is also bringing down its incredibly popular pre-release capture technology to the Z90. This feature actively buffers images while you hold the shutter halfway down. It saves up to a full second of shots before you even press the button completely down. If you have ever missed a bird taking flight because your human reaction time was just a fraction of a second too slow, this feature is for you. This single feature completely eliminates that frustration forever. Of course, tracking a subject at those speeds requires an autofocus system with extreme intelligence. The tracking borders on predictive science. The Nikon Z90 is confirmed to inherit the advanced APS-C processing engine. It also gets the identical deep learning AI autofocus algorithms found in the flagship systems. The camera will instantly recognize, track, and hold focus on 9 distinct subject types simultaneously. This works flawlessly whether you are tracking the eye of a hidden falcon through dense branches, a motorcyclist leaning into a sharp turn, or a high-speed passenger train moving across the landscape. The autofocus grid locks on and simply refuses to let go. The deep learning video quality also gets a massive boost in the Z32. While the original Z30 offered decent video, the Z32 pushes things forward with much cleaner output and higher frame rates at 4K resolution. This allows creators to capture crisp, sharp footage and even introduce smooth slow-motion elements into their edits without sacrificing resolution. Furthermore, we are starting to see the trickle-down effect of Nikon's massive acquisition of Red Digital Cinema. Even at this entry-level price bracket, the internal color science pipeline is being refined to offer richer, more natural skin tones straight out of the camera, saving creators hours of color grading in post-production. Audio is another area where Nikon listened to user feedback. The original Z30 received a lot of complaints regarding its limited audio flexibility. The Z32 addresses this with an improved microphone input system and better internal audio processing, ensuring that your voiceovers, interviews, and ambient sounds match the high quality of your video. Finally, the Z32 tackles the challenge of handheld shooting without forcing beginners to buy expensive, heavy gimbals. While it does not feature a physical sensor shifting stabilization mechanism to keep costs and weight down, it introduces significantly improved electronic image stabilization. This system works in tandem with your lenses to smooth out walking micro-jitters, making casual vlogging look professional and steady. The Z32 does not pretend to be a high-end cinema camera or a professional sports body. It does not have an electronic viewfinder, it does not feature dual card slots, and it skips heavy weather sealing. But it understands its target audience perfectly. It catches new creators at the exact moment they are deciding which brand to trust with their creative journey, making sure that Nikon is the most compelling answer on the shelf. While the Z32 works hard to bring fresh faces into the Nikon family, the next camera on the roadmap targets a completely different type of buyer. This is a camera for the person who cares just as much about the physical experience of shooting and the aesthetic of their gear as they do about raw performance. At number 4, we have the Nikon ZFC2. The original ZFC proved to the entire industry that retro design is not just a passing fad. There is a massive, passionate market for cameras that have true character. People fell in love with the vintage tactile dials, the classic mechanical feel, and the lightweight APS-C body that looked like a historic piece of art rather than another boring, black plastic mirrorless rectangle. The original camera sold incredibly well, but as the years rolled on, the technology inside it started to fall behind. Fujifilm kept aggressively pushing its own retro-style bodies forward with modern internals, leaving the ZFC feeling a bit sluggish. The ZFC2 is Nikon's direct correction of that problem, bridging the gap between timeless style and modern performance. Imagine a travel photographer who wants to walk the streets of a new city all day. They want a camera that is light enough to never cause fatigue, distinct enough to look stylish, and capable enough to capture stunning images at a moment's notice. The ZFC2 keeps the beautiful, tactile exterior that made the original so beloved, but completely swaps out the engine underneath. It implements Nikon's current generation processor and autofocus system, giving the user access to incredibly fast eye tracking, animal detection, and vehicle tracking. What used to be an afterthought on the original body is now a core feature, making the ZFC2 a highly reliable tool for spontaneous street photography and fast-moving environments. The sensor itself is also seeing a significant upgrade. The ZFC2 is expected to push past the old 20-megapixel barrier, moving toward a 21-megapixel or higher APS-C sensor that delivers a noticeable leap in sharpness, detail, and cropping flexibility for stills photographers. But this update is not just for people who shoot photos. Thanks to the faster processor, the video performance is cleaner and more efficient, transforming this stylish body into a genuinely useful tool for hybrid creators who want to shoot high-quality video clips alongside their images. The physical dials still control your ISO, shutter speed, and exposure compensation, preserving that mechanical joy of photography, but the electronic brain behind those dials is now built on a rock-solid, modern foundation. The ZFC2 is still a style-forward camera, and it will not satisfy the users who need a heavy-duty sports camera, but it was never meant to. It matters because it ensures that choosing a camera with character no longer means compromising on current generation performance. If you like the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another deep dive into the future of camera gear.